2 hikers, 1 summit, endless views. Today we take you with us to the top of Thunder Mountain, deep in Alberta's stunning Livingstone Range. Thunder Mountain stands as one of the most historically significant peaks in Alberta's foothills, rising proudly above the landscapes surrounding the Oldman River. Located along the western edge of Creek Wildland Provincial Park, the mountain's impressive ridge and summit are part of the Livingstone Range, a rugged and scenic mountain chain found on public land. Stretching across the eastern slopes of the Canadian Rockies, the Livingstone Range is composed of 13-plus named peaks, extending from Mount Burke in the north to Mount Livingstone south at its southern terminus. The peak holds a special place in Canadian exploration history, as it is believed to be the first summit in the Canadian Rockies climbed by a European explorer. In December 1792, Peter Fidler, a surveyor and explorer with the Hudson's Bay Company, ascended the mountain while mapping this largely unexplored region. More than a century later, the peak was officially named Thunder Mountain in 1915, preserving its legacy as a landmark of exploration, history, and adventure in Alberta's foothills. The Thunder Mountain Ridge is a beautiful alpine traverse offering endless panoramic views. Some sections are narrow and require careful footing, but the route is not overly technical, making it an exciting and rewarding adventure. The parking lot is located at this little pull-out off Township Road 105A. From there, you hike up the little hill and head toward the North Ascent Ridge. Here is a fast-forward the route we hiked. The first section to the shoulder was the most technical section of the hike, where route finding and easy scrambling occur. Then the trail is pretty easy to follow on a beautiful ridge with some narrow section to the summit. The trail comes across a few outcrops that you can easily bypass. You will then come up a scree slope leading to the false summit. Then it is pretty straightforward to the summit cairn and the communication tower. We spent some time soaking in the views from the summit before retracing our steps back down the same route we came up. On the final descent from the shoulder, we took the left trail, which turned out to be slightly more challenging than the route we had taken on the way up. Now it's time to join us on this incredible adventure and experience the beauty of Thunder Mountain with us. To get to the mountain, Steve and I drove down Highway 22 until we crossed the bridge over Oldman River. We took the first right turn after the bridge onto Township Road 101A and followed it for 19 kilometers until we reached the north end of Thunder Mountain. We parked at this pullout on the left side. After hiking up that short hill, we found a trail and headed up it. The trail, however, soon disappeared. We bushwhacked and scrambled for a way. The trail eventually brings you to a small shoulder where a nice viewpoint opens up, with sweeping views of the parking pullout below and the rugged beauty of the Creek Wildland area stretching beyond. The trail appears intermittently along the way, but route finding can be challenging, so it's important to keep your map close. We occasionally chose to scramble sections of the route rather than find an easier way around, adding a little extra spice and adventure to the journey. Stumbling onto another trail here after losing it for a while. After climbing 200 meters, we came out on the shoulder where we could see the ridge we had to follow, at least to a false summit. Oldman River lies below, and in the distance, we can see Mount Racehorse Peaks, Treadmill Peak, and Mount Domka. As you continue onward and glance back to the west, Gould Dome, Battleship Peak, and Tornado Mountain come into view, rising prominently across the skyline. Coming across a massive boulder, I couldn't resist climbing up to take it in. Meanwhile, Steve took the opportunity to test his drone for the first time in the mountains. This section of Thunder Mountain is on public land, where drone use is permitted. We're treated to a fantastic view of Thrift Peak, sitting directly across the river from Thunder Mountain. As we climb higher, Camp Ridge, that can also connect toward Thrift Peak, comes into view, revealing more of the surrounding alpine landscape. After leaving the shoulder, the ridge soon narrows, and a few outcrops are avoided by following faint side trails that skirt along the edges. Here is one of the side trails. That side trail here eventually leads onto a scree slope that climbs toward the false summit. Here I am gaining the ridge onto the scree slope. From the false summit, the route to the true summit becomes clearly visible. The communication tower and the summit cairn now come into view, marking the final objective ahead. This ridge walk is absolutely stunning. The colorful rock formations, the surrounding mountain peaks, and the valley with the river far below all come together to create an unforgettable view. It's impossible not to be impressed out here. Every direction you look is pure beauty. Looking south as you ascend, Lightning Peak and Center Peak come into views, two other mountains from the Livingstone Range. After hiking 4.8 kilometers and gaining 936 meters of elevation in just 2 hours and 50 minutes, we finally reached the summit of Thunder Mountain. This is the stunning ridgeline that guided us to the summit. Since we had the drone with us, we decided to launch it from the summit to capture a wider perspective of the surrounding landscape and share the best possible panorama of our views. What an absolutely breathtaking summit. Truly a moment worth taking in from every angle. After soaking in the views, it's time to begin our descent. Make sure to thoroughly check for ticks during and after your hike. There were quite a few out there. On the final descent from the shoulder, we took the left trail, which turned out to be slightly more challenging than the route we had taken on the way up. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future hikes and mountain journeys. We'll see you on the next adventure, Ernest Ross Peak in the Nordegg area.